Hello and welcome again. It's me, Mr. D, back here finally with another video. In this one, we're going to be looking at how to make Plarn. Plarn is a plastic yarn, and it can be easily made from plastic shopping bags. I know there are a few methods out there, but I'm going to be showing you one that I'm pretty familiar with, and it's not very difficult to do. So we've got a plastic shopping bag, and what we're going to be doing is kind of smoothing this out first of all. And you'll notice there's a handle end and then there's a seam end at the bottom, and what we're going to do is fold this in half, and we're going to get the handles lined up together like so. And again, this is not something that needs to be super exact. Plarn is not something that has to be just so. So I'm going to cut the handles off of this, even as I can with the top of the rest of the bag. And so you end up with the handles in two small strips that we're going to just discard or recycle, and then we'll flip this over. Now we have the seam end, and we're going to cut right above the seam so that we end up with an open tube or cylinder, if you will, of the bag. And we've cut that off, and so we're left with this open-ended bag, the handle end and the bottom of the bag. Now everything's open. I'm going to just fold this in half again and again so that I have something about like so. And you do want to try to make sure the ends are as even as you can. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And you're going to aim to cut off pieces that are about an inch or so wide. And I'll just keep doing that, cutting down, and it doesn't have to be super exact, but close. So just keep doing this, and it's not something that needs to be worried about or fretted over. This is just a real easy, sometimes it can be kind of a calming activity, a de-stressor. I'm going to flip this around and just get a straighter edge on this top side of the bag. A little piece there, and so now we've got this pile of pieces, tubular strips, and you'll see that when I open this up. There's a loop on this end and a loop on this end. Notice the edges are not super straight, but that's okay. The way this works, you're not really even going to see that once you start crocheting with it. So what we'll do is we will create a longer strand of the Plarn by attaching them together by using something called a lark's head knot. A lark's head knot is pretty simple. What you'll do is you'll feed one loop through the end loop of the previous strand, and then we're going to bring this one's tail end over, and we'll feed this the first end through that other loop. And basically what's happening is it's wrapping around the end of the first piece, and we'll just kind of gently coax that together. And you can see you end up with a knot. We're not trying to make that super tight because we don't want to have too big of a difference between the beginning of the yarn or Plarn and the end of it. So here we go again. We're just going to feed this loop through the previous end. We're going to bring the current loop the other end of that loop through, and then we're just going to pull the previous yarn and the new strand of the Plarn and pull it through so that it wraps around the end. And there again you have a knot. So we'll stretch that out again and we'll add another piece. Again, feeding this first end through the previous tail, then the tail through the first end, and you pull those two gently apart so that what's happening is the new piece is wrapped around the old piece. And you can continue on like that. At some point, you're going to want to start wrapping your Plarn into like a Plarn ball, and you would just simply go ahead and start with wrapping around your finger several times until you have enough that you can start wrapping it around itself. And if you end up making a bunch of this and you start running out on a project you're creating, whether it's a shopping bag or a sleeping mat for camping or to give away to a mission for homeless folks that might need a sleeping mat, if you start running out, you can always make more and add it to the end of your yarn. Thanks for joining me. Hope that this will be helpful and that you'll enjoy it. Thanks again for coming by, and we'll see you again another time. Bye for now.